Hello everybody, welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 4. We are here on my home island and we're going to do a little bit of work around here again today. So between episodes I've been doing a little bit of clearing. I've cleared out a lot of the stuff over here and I've added in just a little bit more clay. So you can see we're now up to this line, whereas we were just kind of to the edge of this circle beforehand. I have also run out and found a lot more blindstone with the help of Chris Azu. So these here is all mined out of one vein of blindstone, and then that is the stuff that we had at the end of last episode. So we've definitely got enough blindstone to keep us going and to actually get this volcano built today. So I think that'll be the plan. We want to get as far as we possibly can on this volcano build before the end of the episode. Now, of course, that does mean that I'm going to have to knock out pretty much everything that we see up around here, because if I go out the back, you can see that the edge of the volcano here is very, very close to this stuff. So when I start cascading the volcano up, I'm going to hit this very quickly. So I think that's going to be our first plan for today. I am going to grab my camera account on here and time-lapse this thing up for you. So I think that's what we're going to head off and do right now. I'm just going to clear out all of these decor items and things first, and then we'll get to a bit of a time-lapse. So there we go. We now have a giant hole in our island. This is perfect. Now we can actually start a little bit more work. We're obviously going to need to fill the clay around through the back, but we can actually now start on building this volcano up properly. Now, I did have to kind of cut the time lapse a little bit short because my laptop overheated and crashed, which was really not good. And then so I just kind of powered through and finished the rest of it off rather than trying to fix all of the problems that that was having. So this is now, like I said, this is now done. This is all covered down, or taken away down to the level of this clay here, so we can fill out the rest of this area. Eventually, what I think I'm going to do is kind of move all of this type of stuff out of here. We're going to have some form of like cave system running down in underneath this island, and we'll have a big main central area, probably another circle, smaller, probably 20 blocks diameter or so out, that surrounds the portal here. And then once we've got that, we can put a few little bits and pieces in this area, and then we'll have tunnels kind of running off in all directions with crafting and storage and all of that kind of stuff that we're going to need. Now, the other thing I want to mention as well is I have started doing a little bit of work on Tutorial Island up here. I've put a little bit of dirt up there and got it ready to use. I did use it on Tuesday as well, but the stuff that's up there right now is going to be taken down. So eventually I'm going to need to find a way to get from up here down to there without just jumping and taking damage, because it's not what I want to be doing all the time. So yeah, this is where we are. This is what we're up to. The other thing I do want to mention is that while I was doing that clearing, I was using both blue steel, frost steel, and verdinite pickaxes, and the reason for this is actually pretty simple. So the frost steel hits harder, but it doesn't actually mean that it hits less times on all stone. So if we go over and we find some stone over here, I can show you what I mean. On the coral stone, which is this kind of main stone down around here, this stuff will take 2 hits and the frost steel tech gets rid of it, whereas the verdonite takes 3 hits to remove. So in that case, you clearly want to use the frost steel. However, when we start looking at this stuff, the floodstone over here, the frost steel takes 3 hits, and so does the verdonite. And because verdonite is more durable and faster, it's a lot better to use verdonite to clear up floodstone than it is to use the frost steel. But of course, once again, the frost steel is perfect for clearing up the coral stone. Also, anything in its natural form takes 2 hits with verdonite, so that's why it's kind of swapping back and forth quite a bit between those two. It just helps, it makes the whole thing go a little bit faster and you don't waste any of your pickaxes. So I think for now I'm going to do a quick bit of a cut and we're going to start adding a little bit more clay down around here. Then I also do need to start work on the next layer of the volcano. The idea is to go at least 20 layers up, going 1 layer in each time, and then we're going to build even higher off of that again. So I think that's the next plan, is to grab out some blindstone and keep building this thing around. And the second ring is now in place. Now, what putting this ring in has kind of made me realize is that getting this clay here in under these cracks is going to be quite hard once I've got a couple of layers going on. So I also started filling out the rest of this area and have even marked out where I want my portal room to be eventually. So this ring here is always going to remain open to the sky, and I'm going to dig this thing down to create a portal room of this size. And of course, we're going to end up moving a lot of this stuff over into this new portal room because this area out the back here is going to be filled in, or it's going to have tunnels or something in it, so we can't keep all of our chests and stuff there. In fact, we're probably not ever going to end up leaving things in the portal room. We'll move them over into the portal room kind of temporarily, and then once we've got ourselves a little bit more sorted and we start doing some tunnels and some other rooms and things, we'll move crafting and storage and keystone production and stuff out into their own separate rooms and separate cabins type things, basically. So that's actually the plan for in under all of this area. We're going to have some kind of rough cut tunnels with some cave looking things that are going to be the rooms holding all of the bits and pieces that I want to hold, including, you know, some non-functional rooms like jails and that type of thing, just for looks, basically. Now, so this is coming along pretty well. If I have a look at the minimap, you can see I'm getting a fair way in putting down all this clay. It is taking quite a long time, unfortunately, to put all this stuff down, but I should have realized that. It's quite a lot of clay to go through. I think we're actually already out of, almost out of the second chest worth of clay as well, so we're chewing through it pretty quickly. I don't actually think we're going to use the full 5 chests of clay that I have, though. That's fine. We'll definitely be able to find other uses for it. I mean, we still need to build a proper bridge and a proper kind of landing area out over there. So we've got lots of other things that we can do with all of that clay. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to take a bit of a break from doing all this. I've been placing clay for quite a while, so I think it's time to grab the daily keystone out of the mail and we can run that together and see what that has in store for us. So I'm going to grab this keystone out of here. Unstable green. Alright, now I'll get myself set up, I'll clear my inventory, and I'll see you in the world. Okay, here we are in the world, and by the looks of things, we're going to be going into a gold runner mine today. So, your daily keystones are absolutely no different from the normal medium keystones for the color that they are. All that changes is that if you jump through the portal at the end, you get a reward on your home island. So there's absolutely nothing special about them. They're not harder, they're not easier, they are basically exactly the same as when you throw a normal keystone, medium keystone, into the
into the portal, I should say. So there's going to be 2 landmarks around here somewhere. There's going to be the boss landmark, and that's going to be about it, really. So we're going to run around and see what we can see. So obviously that's the mine there, that's why I'm avoiding it completely, because we don't want to go there quite yet. There's also a gigantic hill here that we're just going to kind of skirt around, or maybe even go completely through the middle of. Because there'll be a couple of caves and things in here, there might be a large chest or two, but it's not really worth the effort of trying to get through all of that stuff. There's just not going to be enough reward in it to even bother. So I'm going to head on over the back here and see if we can find these other couple of landmarks. So as I've done previously, I'm going to look around, and once we actually find something, I will let you know. Wow, that was quick. Literally 5 seconds after finishing the last recording, I stumble across this place. So this is another herbalist hut. I think we've been to one of these already. This is actually, herbalist hut is a really, really good place to get mushrooms. If you ever need mushrooms for a quest, or if you ever stumble upon one of these things, you really should break all the mushrooms around the edge. You get around 60 per herbalist hut, which is perfect because it means that you can do 4 of the hand-in 15 mushroom quests really, really easily. So that would be my tip if you ever find one of these. Obviously this one doesn't have a chest in the bottom of it, but it does have all of those mushrooms, so we can actually collect all those up, and that's what I'm going to do right now, because I am currently getting the hand-in 15 mushrooms quest pretty much daily, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going through stacks and stacks of mushrooms just constantly. So I'm going to collect all these up and move on, and I will see you over at the next landmark. So I've actually managed to make it back to the start point. If I look at my map, I've made a complete circle, and I've only found the herbalist hut over here. But that is leading me to believe that I've actually missed a whole section of land over here, because there should be one more landmark somewhere around the place. Because, of course, we know in this big section here in the middle, that's where the mine is. We saw that earlier on, I just haven't actually been over and uncovered it yet. So that's one side location, one boss location, which means we're looking for one more side location. Because I can't see the sea on this side, it is very possible that I've missed one somewhere over here. So we're going to go over that way and have a bit of a look and see what we can see. Because I have a feeling that that is where the next side location is going to be. If not, I will be very confused because there is usually 2 on these things. But as you can see, there isn't actually a whole lot over here. So I probably missed it. We've probably got a deep load delve or something else. One of the really small side quests that's quite easy to pass by without even realizing what it is. So I'm going to have a bit more of a look around, and I'll pull you back in if I find anything. So I couldn't see anything else, so I've made the move in towards the middle here, just so that we can get a big overarching look at the map. So as you can see, I've discovered pretty much all of the edges. There is a little bit of fogginess down here. We might go check that out in a sec. But as you can see, there doesn't actually appear to be anything else on this map, which is a little bit interesting because, like I said, usually there are a couple of landmarks spawn into this thing. Unless, of course, that somehow counts as a landmark, even though it is unnamed. I am not sure. So I'm going to go check out the little foggy area down over here. I'm not expecting anything to be there because it seems to be right on the very edge of the world that we were looking at. Yeah, down this way. So like I said, I'm not expecting anything to be here, but you know, you might as well check it all out while you're here. It's always an opportunity to find something or find a chest or something like that. But no, absolutely nothing here. There is a floating island up there, but we're not going to go up and have a look at that. That is perfectly fine. And I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Even if there was another side quest, it'd only have a couple of chests in it anyway. And this is a daily, so the main reason we're here is to actually go through the portal at the end, which is what we're going to go and do now. Okay, so here we go. We're going to head down into the mine and take this thing on. Oh, quickly, I wanted to say I got 50 mushrooms off that herbalist hut, so they're definitely the best place to go if you're looking for mushrooms. You'll be able to restock pretty quickly and easily. So, this mine shouldn't be too hard. It's just going to be full of bandits. which aren't really a problem. I'm not too sure if I want to explore the whole thing, or if I just want to do the boss rush and jump through the portal as quickly as I can. Because right now, a lot of the rooms that are around here don't actually have chests in them anyway, so you can go and you can explore and you might find, you know, one extra chest. Which, to me, it's kind of worth it and kind of not. So, I don't know, we'll see. We're definitely going to get this chest though, because this is showed up on our mini-map already, so we'll go and take that one. Okay, moving on. So, this is pretty much what this is like. It's just a lot of twisting and turning and killing lots of bandits, basically. And you just need to keep going until you find the right door that has the portal in it. So I'm just going to double check back in here because, aha, there it is. So this room here is in pretty much all of these. It is kind of a big room with lots of track, and it has 5 areas that it can spawn off new paths. So one down there is another one, 2 sometimes back here, and then over here as well. So usually the portal will be pretty close to this room off one of the wings. Sometimes it doesn't even go down before it opens up to the portal room. So there are times when you can get in here and there'll be a path this way and then it will open directly up into the portal room here. So as this is my daily and I'm not confident that I'm going to get chests anywhere else, I think I'm just going to head straight through to the portal room and take this on. So in White Worlds, there is actually a Bandit Berserker in these, but in the green, there's only a Bandit Chieftain, so he is really not anything to worry about too much at all. So I'm just going to take him out pretty quickly and easily, and I think the rest of his little bandits came up to attack us when we were upstairs. And then that's it. We're going to check out the main chest here in a second, and then we'll head through the portal and go home. We've got a lot more work to do over there. In fact, I don't even need those. Okay, so I will see you back on my home island. Okay, so we've made it home, and we're just going to check out together what reward we got from that daily. I'm not actually sure if this is going to count as my first or second daily in a row, so we're just going to check this out. Oh, 3 days running. That is perfect. So let's go for the right. That is not too bad. Some keystones, some settler points, and some verdinite ore. That is pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to kind of clean my inventory up and then we can get back to working on this place.
So I've cleared out my inventory and I have myself set up with a whole bunch of clay in my hands. But this is a really, really huge area that I need to fill in. You know what? It would be amazingly nice if I could just kind of turn my back and then turn around again and bam, part of it was done. Wait, look at that, it worked. Okay, let's see if we can do this again. So we're gonna turn all the way around here, and if we turn around, look at that. If I check out the minimap, we've got the whole middle section done. Oh, this is going really, really well. Check that out. All of the middle section is now in place. So we should probably try this again. Hey, see if we can get the outer ring to happen. Let's try that. Let's see if we've got enough luck to get this to happen. Run all the way back over here. It seems to be working over here, so let's try this again. So, facing out this way, have a look at the map, nothing like that. Alright, so, turn around, and turn back. Yeah, nothing. Ah, damn. Oh well, looks like we're gonna have to put in the rest of this stuff by hand. Let's get over here and start doing all of this. But hey, we got the middle section done. Check that out. Yeah, it's going pretty well. Okay, so I'm going to stop messing around now and I'm going to keep filling in the rest of this thing here. I've got a fair amount to go, but obviously we've got over half of it done now, which is really, really good. So, like I said, I'm going to keep going with this stuff, keep filling on all of these bits and pieces. And I will see you when all of this is done and we'll be able to have a look at this thing together. So I'm still kind of working on all of this and filling all of this in. However, I thought I'd pull you back in and just show you kind of the technique that I've been using to fill in this gigantic round space. So I've kind of been partitioning it up into smaller and smaller sections and making sure that each time I cut off a section, I kind of get a square area to then fill in later on. So it's easier, I find anyway, to deal with all of the corners and edges first and then just fill in these big blank kind of square areas. And obviously I haven't quite finished this because I need to build some more squares and stuff in all of these sections to get this all working and up and running. However, we've actually had an update here on the server, so it is now Friday morning for me actually, and we've had an update to the game, which means that we're in 4.5 and animals are now starting to spawn all over this pad, so I'm going to have to work out what their spawn conditions are and see what I can do about that, because having chickens running around on a volcano is going to look somewhat weird, and especially having fennec foxes running around on a volcano is going to look very, very weird. So that's just one thing that I need to have a look at and potentially change some of my ideas to fix this or to fit these guys in around all of that. On top of that, all of the objects and items have now kind of got a different look. So some of the decor items are still pretty similar, but the marked changes are in some of the weapons and especially the metal. So if I open up my metal chest here, these are the new icons and images for all of the metals, which they look a lot better, to be perfectly honest. You can definitely tell what each thing is and what color it is now, which I mean, you could before, but this is just a little bit easier. And then also the same thing with the keystones. The named keystones, you can now actually tell what color each of those is before you throw it in, which is quite important now because there's now a lot more crossover between worlds and what can go into what. So I think that's just some of the few quick things that I wanted to show you in Alpha 4.5. Of course, this update has broken a lot of the tutorials that I've been working on, so I am unfortunately not going to get as much done as I wanted to this episode because I'm going to have to cut this one a little bit shorter so that I can get back and start looking at all of my old tutorials, see what's working, see what's not, and start planning for fixes for all of those things so that you can get out there and do all of the stuff that you want to do. So I think this episode we're definitely not going to finish off this giant clay ring. That's fine, we'll get back to this at the start of next episode. Maybe even time-lapse this, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll have a look, we'll see what we can do about all of this stuff out here. But yeah, for now I want to keep going. I want to build up the rest of the rings for this volcano. I want to build at least 3 more rings, so I think I'll cut out here. We'll jump back in when I've got a couple of rings on and we can have a look at this and see how it's going. Okay, so it's time for a bit of a reveal here. So I've just kind of stuck some headphones on and been listening to music and just powering through the building on this for the last hour or so. So I actually haven't seen this yet. I've done a fair amount of building on it, like I said, and I think it's time that we turn around and have a look together. Oh, look at that. This is coming together really, really nicely. Now, not only have I got some more of the rings done, so this is looking really good. I'm liking this a lot. This is going to look pretty awesome, I think, when we actually get all of these rings in place. But also, if I jump up here and check out the mini-map, I've also filled in a little bit more of the clay around the edges too. So they actually don't have all that much clay left to go out here, and then we just need to keep going with this volcano and get this up to pretty high point. I think we're going to go somewhere near 40 blocks tall, I think, for this. It's going to be the plan. But I don't know, we'll kind of tweak that number as we go. We'll keep building bits and pieces and see what it all looks like and see how it's all going, and we'll work it out as this build progresses, basically. That's kind of the plan for the moment. I do need to build a staircase out of here because I can't really get in and out very easily right now. I do think, however, because I've only got a small patch of clay left to go, that I have
severely overestimated how much clay I needed for this build. 1, 2, 3 chests are all completely full of clay, and I am not going to use that on this tiny little patch. But that's fine. Like I said, we need to be building kind of something out here and maybe some bridges or something along those lines. And then we need to change up these floating islands as well and make these wastelands floating islands. So I could find uses for all of that clay. That's not a real problem. And finally, the other thing that I really kind of want to talk about is now that we've got this ring here in place, this clay ring, another plan and within the next few episodes is to cut all of this stone away inside this ring and bring it down to the floor level down there. Well, down here, I should say. And then we can actually start building a bit of a base in underneath there. Like I said, we're going to do some tunnels running off in kind of spiraling around in underneath all of this gigantic flat area that we've got going on. So for the next couple of weeks it's going to be a bit of kind of building up the volcano and a bit of doing those things down in the middle, and then once we've got the volcano finished we're going to move on and start doing some of the work that I've got to do around the top here. So I want to put some buildings and a few other bits and pieces around here, and then some kind of wastelands type stone structures and that type of thing as well. I think would be pretty cool. So anyway, that I think is going to have to do it for today's episode. I have done quite a lot of work this week, but also, as I mentioned earlier, Alpha 4.5 has come out, so I have a lot of play ahead of me to try and get all of my tutorials updated and fix all the problems that those have currently and all of that kind of stuff. So you're probably going to see quite a few tutorials out of me over the next couple of weeks, just as I update all of my old stuff for Alpha 4.5. So yeah, anyway, like I said, next time we'll keep going with this volcano, we'll build this up a bit higher, we'll finish off this area back here, and start on building a proper home base area as well. So I will see you then.